Hi, everyone. Welcome to Travel Time. I'm Serina Bowles from the Travel Agent Next Door, and this is my series that I'm doing that is connecting my clients with my friends in the industry to give you a better idea about the people that we are working with whenever we are booking your vacations. I find that whenever we are working on your plans, it's important to know what we're doing, but also it's very important to consider who we're doing it with, because who we do it with really can make or break your vacation and influence your overall experience. So I do have preferred suppliers that I like to work with, and today we are going to be talking to one of them. I have my friend Neil here from Amawaterways, which is my absolute favorite river cruise company that I love to send my clients on, because I know when I send someone on an Amawaterways vacation that they are going to be so well taken care of and have such a great experience. So thank you, Neil, for being here with us today. I really appreciate you chatting with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Serena. I'm excited.
That's great. So before we get into too many other details, could you give us just a little bit of background about yourself and your role with Amawaterways and sort of what you love about your job?
Absolutely. So I'm one of these old school people. River cruising has been around for maybe 20 plus years, and I've probably been doing river cruising just about that long as well. So I started on board working on ocean ships way back in the day, and I've kind of evolved into working from Australian companies, and then, like I said, the last let's count my math, almost 20 years I've now been doing river cruising for two major river cruise lines and such. So it's a passion I've been on. It's a horrible part of my job, Serena, to make me go on these river cruises a couple times every year. So I've probably done, 30 or 40 of these river cruises, but I just find the form of travel so fascinating, and I'm very passionate about bringing this whole beautiful experience to everybody else, such as your lovely clients as well. So
that is great. You definitely have a dream job that I know a lot of people would love to have. So I believe that we have a short video that we can show everyone that just gives sort of an overview about what an experience is like with Amawaterways. So let's play that right now.
On an Amawaterways river cruise, it's not just about the destination, it's the journey. It's returning to luxury after a day of exploring. It's indulging and relaxing in a 5-star floating hotel. It's being left breathless. Because it's not just about where you go, it's how you get there that matters. Amawaterways River Cruises.
I love that video. It really captures sort of the essence of what people can expect whenever they sail with Amawaterways. What would you say in terms of ideal clients for river cruising, especially with Amawaterways? What's the vibe of a river cruise compared to like other ways that people can experience these destinations?
Yeah, so when our owners built the company, I mean, we are now in our 25th year of business, and our owners design and build our ships. They were passionate for river cruising. They got involved in it from a very early stage, but they didn't want to pigeonhole river cruising with Amawaterways to what maybe a general perception is, as to maybe it's a slower paced product geared towards seniors and such. We really want to open up the world of river cruising to absolutely everybody who would find these destinations fascinating. So, you know, we have people in their 30s up to people in their 80s and 90s, because you've got active based tours, gentle pace, regular. We've got interactive, immersive experiences. So it really allows us to bring that full cultural experience of the destinations we're traveling to over to the guests. And of course, the great thing about cruising that everybody loves, once people start a cruise, it's a really interesting fact, about 93% of people continue to take another cruise vacation. So it is honestly the joy of being able to bring you to every city and town that goes back for centuries, especially in Europe, all related around the river. And you unpack the once and you wake up the next day in a beautiful area. And nobody usually goes to Europe just to one city. They want to see multiple places and such, because it's a fascinating continent. And river cruising allows you to bring that to them, because we are ending up in the hearts of all these cities and towns, which were anchored around the rivers for centuries. So it really is the best way to see Europe, and even some of the exotics beyond as well. So
yeah, that's definitely what I love about it. It's a totally different experience than sending clients for like a land package where they're centered around like the major tourist attractions and stuff like that. Whenever you're on a river, you, like you said, you're really seeing the heart of the countries and places that you otherwise would never get to see, because they're just not accessible from like the major airports and whenever you fly in to see, like the major tourist sites, it would be really hard to get from there over to these other quaint areas in Europe. What are you seeing in terms of like travel trends these days? Like I know Europe has always been big. Is there like specific places that are becoming more popular, like either in Europe or outside of Europe?
So yes, Europe is obviously our core. There's so many rivers to go and see in Europe. So once people kind of go, and the Danube and the Rhine, those are the ones that the first timers tend to choose. That's probably about 80%. But I mean, you've got the Moselle River, you've got the Main, you've got all the rivers of France, you've got the Douro in Portugal. There's so many areas that people keep coming back year after year. But what we are finding is that no longer are people just popping over to Europe to do a 7-night river cruise. The Canadian guests are really trying to go for longer periods of time. They're thinking, well, we're over there, let's go over for 2 or 3 weeks. And with us, you can do 14-night cruises, you can do 21-night cruises, you can combine cruises. So maybe you want to go do the Rhine, then maybe go spend a week in Paris, and then go do the Danube. It's very easy to combine. So that's a trend that we're finding is longer cruising periods. And of course, because we only do river cruising, we don't have coach touring, we don't have ocean cruising, we're always developing new and exciting destinations. People really want to explore some of those stunning exotic parts of the world, but they want to do it in 5-star safety and security, which is what a river cruise can provide. So, we've got Southeast Asia on the Mekong, we've got the Nile in Egypt. We just started Colombia, which you know all about, my friends. It was a spectacular experience. No one's ever done that before. And we're also the only ones doing a wildlife cruise on the Chobe River in South Central Africa. So it's never ending. I know we keep looking at more and more destinations, and I'm excited for the future. So
yeah, no, for sure. And that's what I love about Amawaterways. Just there's so many hidden gem type of itineraries to choose from. It's not just mainstream. Same thing every time. Like you could go on so many different Ama ships and experience such different vacations every time that you go, because you guys really do offer like such a broad portfolio of different choices for people to have. What would you say is in terms of like insider secrets and stuff like that, what's like a cool perk or detail like on or off the ships that you can share with us?
So a couple of things with us, like I mentioned, our founders design and build all of our ships. They've got firsthand knowledge. So, I mean, right now, it's really important because obviously I think everyone's very aware that the water levels on a few of those rivers are historically low. Well, our founder knew about this way back in the day. So designed our fleet of ships to have the shallowest draft of any river cruise line. We only need about between 4 and 6 feet of water underneath us in order to be able to cruise. So puts us in the best position to always provide guests with that luxury river cruise experience. But all of our ships are sister ships, meaning if the river levels are even too low for us, we can swap ships from one guest from one ship to another ship, and they carry on with their cruising experience. And that's really important. We don't put any of our guests onto a coach tour. We don't cancel the experience. We know what guests signed up for, and that's great that having an owner that's so intimately involved with the design process and stuff, and really being able to bring that river cruise experience no matter what situations may arise. So that's a little insider tip that maybe people don't know, and will allow them to be fully reassured in booking an Amawaterways river cruise with you. So
Yeah, no, 100%. And that is definitely something that comes up whenever I'm talking with clients. You know, they hear it on the news or they see it online, and they're concerned about water levels. And that is what gives me a lot of reassurance as well, because I know that the way that AMA handles situations like that is superior to what they can find elsewhere. And so I guess speaking of elsewhere, there's obviously lots of different tour operators out there that can, you know, offer similar experiences or trips in Europe. What would you say makes Amawaterways sort of stand out from that, and sort of the value that a vacation with Amawaterways brings to travelers?
So it's really important to know, because I think everyone in the world is quite aware with ocean cruises. You know that there's different levels of ocean cruise. You got 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, mass market, right down to the boutique ships. And it's no different for river cruising. A lot of people, if they've not been on one, just assume all river cruise lines are the same, but it is the same as ocean cruising. You've got 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. Now the ships themselves, for the most part, are all the same size. So what makes the difference is what's included and how many guests are on board and the number of amenities that are included. So with Amawaterways, we have 5-star luxury brand, and it means we've got multiple restaurants on board. These are all included. All tours are included. There's no optional excursions, and guests get to choose what appeals to them. And when it comes to our tours, we really want to make sure that clients have a choice between the standard sightseeing tours and fully immersive experiences, going off, meeting local home hosts, and whatever might appeal to them, that is part of the experience. And even starting next year, all gratuities on and off the ship are also included. So it really is a 5-star inclusive experience with only about 150 guests on board on average over in Europe. So it means the suites are bigger. We've got the multiple restaurants. So I always tell people when they're talking to you, Europe is a more expensive destination. So yes, a river cruise price, if they've never been and maybe they've only ocean cruise, might look to be a higher price point. But if they were to come to you, Serina, and say, listen, I'd like to go to Europe, and you sat there and said, well, here's the average price of a hotel through Europe, and then you've got your transportation if you want to go to all these areas, and then you've got your tours and your meals. A river cruise works out to be very good value for money, and especially with Amawaterways, when there's nothing that you really have to pay for when you're on board, all done in Canadian dollars before you leave here. It just makes for that beautiful, relaxing experience that you don't have to worry about when you get over there. So,
yeah, no, for sure. And that's why I love you guys, because it, like you said, whenever you start factoring in all of the extra expenses that you need to account for whenever you're traveling overseas, and knowing that all of those components are a part of your package price, and you don't need to try to figure things out while you're over there, that definitely shows that value that people get with Amawaterways. So before I let you go, I wanted to ask you a question. What would you say, out of all of the itineraries that you have been on, all of the different voyages with Amawaterways, what would you say has been your most favorite one? And do you have any specific memory from that trip that made it so memorable?
I knew you were going to ask me this question. So I will say this is always a hard one. So I always break it down to Europe and the exotics, because they are two very different river cruising experiences. So as far as Europe goes, my absolute favorite are the Christmas markets river cruises in Europe. It is something distinctly European that the Europeans have been doing for centuries, where the Christmas markets are out in every city and town that we go to, and they're unique Christmas markets to that city or town. I'm a big Christmas fan, so this is always my appeal. I've done Christmas markets on almost every single river now. I only have the Douro left to do, which I'm hoping to do next year. It's just, it really brings that full authentic experience over to the European river cruise. You get all the same inclusions, but now you get to enjoy these stunning Christmas markets. But when it goes out to the exotics, it's tough because I have done 3 out of 4 of our exotics now. Unfortunately, the Wildlife River Cruise in Africa, only 28 guests on board. That one never has space for me to go and enjoy it. I'm sure that would be my favorite, but these are really immersive experiences, interacting with the locals, experiencing, different foods and religions and cultures and such. The first one I did was the Mekong. I fell in love. Everybody was smiling ear to ear, and I was able to do the Nile in Egypt a couple of years ago. Same kind of thing. And then I just did the same one that you did, which was Colombia in South America. And it was the exact same experience. They are so excited that there's a river cruise line bringing guests through this beautiful part. Everybody working on board is Colombian. They can't stop talking about it. They love having the people. So the exotics are so special, but for a different reason. So I've loved them all. And I know I love Africa at some stage when I get to do it as well. But you like Colombia too, right? So.
Oh yeah, no, Colombia was one of those trips that you come home from and you felt like changed, like your soul felt changed, like just from, like you said, the people, the crew on board, and the people that we met, like in destination. There was one day we were going down along the river, and it was so quiet and peaceful, and it was just like marshland, and like there's nothing to see, and it was so peaceful and quiet, and we were all up on the top deck. We were playing Uno, and all of a sudden we heard Colombian music, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from, and we thought maybe someone turned the speaker on, and we were all kind of looking around, and then we realized that like off in the distance that like the villagers from like a local village had like spent their morning like getting ready. They were all dressed up in their fancy clothes, and as soon as they saw us coming down the river, they started playing music and singing and cheering and waving. They were just so happy to see tourism coming to their area. And it was literally like a 3-minute experience for us just to see them. But to think that they went through all that trouble and effort in order to provide us with that moment, it was really magical and made us realize what we were doing.
I love that because it's not even like you were stopping there. They just know that the ship's coming. They know the days, and they just want to show off and say, "We're so happy that you're cruising along the Magdalena." It's a very special experience. So
100%. Well, Neil, thank you so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it, sharing all of your inside information. I know that you're the go-to guy for Amawaterways, and so I'm glad that you could take some time with us today. For everyone who is watching, if this is something that you are interested in or you're looking to plan your own travels, please reach out to me and I would love to help you. And we will see you next time on my series. Thank you again, Neil, very much, and we'll see you later.
Thanks for having me, Serena.
Bye.